Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Box Score Sports YouTube channel. I'm your host, Ryan, and what we are doing is we are going to be previewing every single NBA team to celebrate tip-off week in the NBA. We're going to have videos of every team's, hopefully 10 minutes or less, of our favorite moves, least favorite moves. We're going to talk about questions, concerns. We're going to predict whether they're a playoff team, a contender, a lottery team, or a play-in team. We're going to hit on all those and every single teams. But before we get into it, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your thoughts on your favorite teams going into the season or on the team of each video that we will be posting. With that said, let's get into our prediction.
Previewing the Detroit Pistons.
Okay, let's talk about my Detroit Pistons. Let's go Pistons. Let's do it. Let's do it this year. I don't know what we want to do, but we're going to do it. So this might be a little longer than my other videos. I'm going to try to keep it under 10 minutes, but I am very passionate about the Pistons. Here we go. Last year, they were 17th and 65. They were the worst team in the NBA, and they weren't rewarded for it, which is why we love the NBA system and why we hate the NBA system. They picked they dropped in the second year in a row. They dropped out of the top 3. And they picked number 5. Last year, they got Ivy. This year, they got Ausar Thompson. So let's talk about some of my favorite moves. Monte Morris, a sneaky good move. I like what they did there, getting a veteran point guard. He's going to kind of replace Corey Joseph, which I actually like that move. But it does make an interesting conundrum that you have now. Well, we'll talk about it. But, man, they have a lot of players. They have a lot of players, a lot of young players, a lot of veterans, and I think they all kind of need minutes, which we'll talk about. Another favorite move of mine is Ausar Thompson. I'll tell you guys, I actually have a podcast out there that I kind of recorded I did a parody of a Boys to Men song, I think, where because we lost out at Wemby. Now I can't sing, but if you go into my podcast feed and check it out, it's like the first 20 seconds, 30 seconds of the podcast. It might be worth the listen. I don't know. You tell me. But I was so bummed when we did not get Wemby. And not just that, but we didn't get a chance at Brandon Miller, who is my second guy on my personal board. Scoot was gone. Amen was next, and then it's just like number 5. Are you kidding me? We get Ausar, and Ausar actually looks good. Like, he looks like the guy the Pistons sort of need, other than like a Wembanyama or Brandon Miller, where it's like he does everything. He's a really good athletic defender. He's a slasher. He has a better 3-point shot than his brother, and it looks like his form looks good, like something that can be worked with the NBA. He's a hustle player. So I really like that they got Ausar Thompson. So those are my 2 favorite offseason moves. My least favorite moves is just the lack of doing anything this offseason as far as getting rid of talent on your roster. And I know that sounds weird, but we added Monte Morris, right? And Ausar Thompson. We have Ivy and Cade Cunningham. And here's some of the guys we have: Wiseman, Bagley, Duran, Stewart, Burks, Bojan, Harris, Livers, Killing Hayes. The Pistons have like a 13-man roster. And what I'm worried about is, and I bring this up in some of my other videos, is progress stoppers. Joe Harris should not be on the court for this team because he, at this point, is just a progress stopper, in my opinion. It's not that he ain't a solid player. He can go help a different team out, but he's taking minutes away from young players that I'd rather see. And you can kind of define a lot of these veterans as progress stoppers. Bagley could be a progress stopper. Bojan, Burks. They can help, but it's good, like, in my opinion, when you're a young team, just to have 1 or 2 veterans in your lineup and let the young ones grow together. So it's sort of funny to me because there's so much on this roster that so many players that need minutes on this roster. It's unreal. So the fact that they didn't move anybody is kind of baffling to me. Questions, comments, concerns, other things. I already mentioned the big one. Too many men, not enough minutes. I think that's very important. It's going to be interesting to see how that flows. Another big question is Ivy. Rumor is He's going to be coming off the bench. I don't like that. Now, I get there's 8 minutes to the game. It's not how you start the game, it's how you finish, but it's his second year in the league. We want, like, as a Piston fan, I want Cade and Ivy to grow together. I want Cade, Ivy, and Nasir to grow together with Duren. I want those four on the court as much as possible together. And the fact that he's coming off the bench already is concerning to me. It's not like a hot red flag, but it's a little bit of a red flag. It's his second year. Why is he coming off the bench already? A little concerning to me. Last year, I thought he played pretty solid for a rookie, and the fact that Cade wasn't in there was a little bit of a bummer. I just want to talk about Monty Williams too real quick. I'm really excited to have him, but I have to be the wet blanket in the room to say we got to temper our expectations. A lot of the pros about Monty Williams was the pros about Dwayne Casey, right? He's a veteran coach. He's been winning over in the place he came from, whether that's Toronto or in this case Phoenix. The difference is Phoenix didn't have to go through a healthy, in prime LeBron James in order to get to the finals. The Suns didn't have to do that. The Toronto did. And that's why they blew up Toronto, is because they couldn't get by LeBron. That's why. And it's like, well, is that really a reason to fire a coach? Anyway, but it's the veteran, it's the moxie. We mentioned all that. But Monty Williams has all that too. But go look at his record with and without Chris Paul. It's not great. And that's what concerns me about Monty Williams. He didn't want to coach. Like, Tom Gore had to just throw a bunch of money at him. He wanted to take the year off, but he ended up taking it. And that's a concern, because when you're forcing somebody to do something that they might not really want to do, they might not do it with the passion that they normally would. And I'm not blaming the person. Don't force people to do what they don't want to do. That's sort of a concern of mine. Another concern of mine with Monty Williams, and again, I'm just being honest, Piston fans, who has he developed? Mikal Bridges is better in Brooklyn than he was as a Sun. Like, it's funny because the Suns were looking for like this third scoring option, this scoring wing option. And so they went out and got Kevin Durant. And then when they shipped out Mikal Bridges, he looked so much better in Brooklyn. Like, he could have been that third option, but that's not the way Monte used him. So that seems like a coaching problem, right? Cam Johnson is a great 3-and-D player. You could say, well, he helped groom him a little bit, but he's not like a special player. Booker was special before Monte got there. And then Ayton would be the only other player. And we all saw how that kind of flamed out. The fact that he did not talk to Ayton, well, it was reported, I should say, that Monty Williams didn't talk to Ayton for a full offseason because he was done with him. That's concerning. You're the coach. You have to deal with these young personalities, no matter how much they infuriate you. And that's my concern. I don't know how well he's going to be at developing the young talent on this roster. He could be really good at it, but I just don't know if there's enough proof to say absolutely. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments down below. But the Ivy thing already happened. That popped in my head. Oh, hopefully this isn't DeAndre Ayton all over again. Let's not do that. Let's not do that with Ivy. So we'll see what happens with Ivy. Predictions. I think they're going to be close to a play-in team as far as like that 10th spot. It wouldn't be surprising if a couple teams like blow it up or they get a couple injuries, but they're a lottery team, in my opinion. That's what they're going to finish as. So that's where I have my Detroit Pistons, unfortunately. So Piston fans, tell me why I'm wrong, please, in the comments down below. What are your predictions? Is my worries of Monty Williams well-founded, or am I too much in my own head because I'm used to things going wrong for the Pistons of recently? What moves would you like to see the Pistons to make? And how do you feel about the Ivy situation? Let me know in the comments down below. Like the channel, subscribe, and we appreciate so much for you taking the time to watch the video. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.